It has kicked my ass more than a handful of times. I was even very close to throwing it in the trash one day. I mean, I've had a lot of stuff happen with this thing. I've had words get cut and overlapped multiple times. I've had wheels fall off while I was cutting. I even had the spindle just go haywire and start shaking. Multiple broken bits. But I never give up that easy. That's why I'm stepping in the ring one more time. As you can probably tell, I have made a sign, a completed sign. And if you guys follow me on Instagram, Twitter, or even Facebook, you will see that I've made a couple signs with no errors whatsoever. After much bashing on the x-carve and talking about how horrible it is and things like that, with a lot of help from other people on here on YouTube, Facebook, everywhere, you guys have put a lot of info out and told me a lot of different things to try. And I've tried a lot of different things. Some of them didn't work, but a few did. And that's how we got to this part. I'll show you what I did. So first up, you guys remember this V-wheel right here? It fell off a while ago in the middle of a video where I thought I was going to have success. The wheel actually ended up falling off. So how did I overcome that? So not only did I have that one V-wheel come off, but I also had a couple of the screws on the side rail come off as well. It was very frustrating seeing that I worked hard to put the machine together and then it was just falling apart. So my first lesson to anyone who is building the x-carve: use Loctite. Use the blue Loctite, not the red one, but the blue one. In case you have to end up taking it apart or something like that, use the blue Loctite on all your screws that you have. The ones for the rails, the ones for the V-wheels, everything. Your V-wheels, the ones that you have to move and adjust to tighten up, like the carriage and things like that, the one that I had fall off, if you use Loctite and you get it somewhat close, you can still move it to adjust for the tension on that V-wheel. So now we'll talk about this spindle right here. I'm still having some trouble with it. It still is bent somewhere and I can't figure out exactly where, but it is still bent. Getting this top and bottom V-wheels tighter really helps with the spindle from shaking. These are just barely tight to where when it's running it rolls the wheels, but it's not too loose or too tight. It's just perfect. I also had some of the wiring issue with it, I guess, where it wasn't working correctly. It was really missing a lot of steps. Previously, I had gotten a new spindle from x-carve. That works great. I'm not having any kind of issue with it. I wish I could upgrade. I want to upgrade to a better one if I keep on using the x-carve. So before I use it each time and during use, I keep an eye on the things, make sure nothing's coming loose, things like that. And that's just, I guess, part of it. It's not really frustration anymore. The main part of the frustration was when it kept on overlapping the letters. A lot of people told me that it was skipping steps, and I wasn't disagreeing with them. I didn't exactly know how to fix it because I kept on tightening this up, making sure that it wasn't loose. You can see I made some marks in here for before I even used it. And I also made marks on the lawn belt, or the lawn belt on both sides, but it kept on missing, so I didn't understand it. This one is almost completely tight down where I can't adjust it anymore. During one of the carvings, I had noticed though that even after I tightened it, made my marks, made sure everything was dead on perfect, still skipping steps. So if you're having that issue, I suggest one thing. I ended up moving, but the two side ones, they were really messing things up too. Those ones, instead of just retightening them down, I actually moved about an inch off of where I had the type pulled down before. I think that the teeth in the belt were just not gripping right. So I ended up just moving the belt, and I guess it fixed that problem, because after I did that on the two long belts on the y-axis, it worked, I believe. And I think that's the y-axis, these two long side rails. I can't remember exactly what else was wrong with it. It's been a long time since I've messed with it. After dealing with it for a little while, I really got frustrated with it and set it off to the side of the shop, and it collected dust until this past weekend where I was like, hey, I'm gonna pull it out, test it. I expected failure. I really did. I'm not lying. So sorry making this so boring and talking about just ways to kind of fix it. But those are just a few things. If you guys have comments or questions about different things that I've done to fix it. Oh, one last thing. I adjusted the feed rate and the depth per pass. One thing that I was suggested over and over and over again is to slow it down and cut less, which is exactly what I've done. Instead of cutting 40 inches a minute with a depth of 6/100ths per pass, I'm actually cutting at 20 inches a minute with 15/100ths of an inch per pass. So I've cut it down a lot, and I'm going a lot slower, which is helping a lot. Thanks for watching. You guys leave comments down below if you guys have questions about anything I fixed. If you guys wanted to know something else that I worked on to fix it, go ahead and leave a comment. Anything, guys, just thanks for watching. X-carve, guys, Inventables. Thank you for the machine. I appreciate it. Finally got it working. Hopefully some good stuff comes off of this. I'll see you guys next time.